Now, NATO's Secretary-General says the recapture of a town in eastern Ukraine within the territory that Russia just declared it's annexed shows that Ukrainians can push back against Vladimir Putin's forces. The retaking of Lyman is a significant gain for Ukraine. Our senior international correspondent Ola Guerin and camera journalist Gotke Karaltan sent this report from the front lines in Bakhmut.
At the front line, with the guns in action, the order is run. We reach Ukrainian positions in the city of Bakhmut. We can't say where. But the Russians are close, we are told. Just 400 meters away. Troops are standing their ground here, but in this corner of the Donetsk region, it's tough. Alexander leads the unit and knows the cost of war, not only from fighting his own battles. My brother died, he says, but I don't know where and when exactly, because he was drafted by a different drafting office in a different region. As well as my brother, a few of my comrades died. As battles rage just beyond the building, they deploy one of the key weapons of this conflict. Roman, the drone operator, has become a father since the war began. He has seen his baby son, Kirillo, only once. He's fighting, he says, to stop the Russians committing more atrocities. I don't want them to do what they did in Bucha, he tells me. I lived in Kiev. I understand very well what women feel. If we are weak, they will come for our families. So they defend every inch of territory. We've been hearing plenty of shelling, but not just shelling. There's small arms fire, which suggests that the Russians and the Ukrainians are not far apart. We have to be careful here. We've been told there is a Russian sniper operating from that direction. For the troops here, this is a grind, day and night, a hard battle to hold this position and stop the Russians from pushing into Bakhmut. President Putin claims this is now his, part of the territory he officially annexed on Friday. Soldiers here say he's deluded. The city centre bears the scars of his attacks and echoes to the sounds of his war. Imagine this was your home, torn to pieces. It seems abandoned. Then Ludmila peeks out. A pensioner who cannot walk, defenseless and terrified. She tells us most of her neighbors have gone and the building is leaking. A man was killed in the yard yesterday, she says. But she and her husband don't have money to leave. At the cemetery, on the city's edge, a last goodbye for a loved one. There are plenty of fresh graves here for those killed in recent months. Suddenly, an exchange of shelling. Incoming rounds are getting closer. Neither the dead nor the living are safe here.
Let's go, guys, let's go. Let's go.
Orla Guerin, BBC News, Bakhmut.
Well, our correspondent Hugo Bachega is in Kiev for us. I mean, extraordinary scenes in Orla's report there. Really brings it home just what people are still living with. But this does feel like a very uncertain and frightening period because of this annexation. It's not clear what's going to happen next.
Yeah, Gita, and the Ukrainians say that they are responding to this declaration by President Putin with the counteroffensive, and the counteroffensive goes ahead. So the Ukrainians are saying that they have retaken another small village in Donetsk, the village of Torske, and this is close to Lyman, this town that was recaptured by the Ukrainians on Saturday in a major victory for the Ukrainians. Lyman was being used as a transport and logistics hub by the Russians, and this town gives the Ukrainians the possibility to move against Russian forces in occupied areas of Donetsk, but also Luhansk, these two regions in the east of the country. So it is important strategically, and it also has a major symbolism because this victory on Saturday came a day after President Putin went ahead with that declaration that Russia was annexing four partially occupied regions of Ukraine, including Donetsk, a move that has been dismissed by the Ukrainians and by almost everybody outside Russia as illegal with no legitimacy. So very important for the Ukrainians, and that is what is happening in the east of the country. But last night, President Zelensky said the Ukrainians managed to retake two small villages in the south, in the Kherson region, and for weeks we've been watching developments in Kherson, intense fighting happening there, no changes in terms of military position. So if these advances are confirmed, they would mark a significant gain for the Ukrainians also in Kherson.
OK, Hugo Bachega in Kiev, many thanks indeed.